Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you didn't have to clock in tomorrow? No boss, no alarm clock, no checking your PTO balance, just waking up knowing your income doesn't depend on your time. That's not fantasy. That's my life, and I built it through a strategy almost no one talks about called Airbnb Arbitrage. I didn't come from money, I didn't buy properties, I didn't have experience, I just had the willingness to work, learn, and execute. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through everything: how to find the right cities, how to pitch to landlords, how to design listings that dominate the algorithm, how to automate every single task, and how to scale to 10, 30, and even 100K a month. This is going to be the most detailed, no fluff Airbnb arbitrage video on YouTube. Grab a notebook, silence your notifications, and let's get started. I didn't start out in Airbnb. I started out in survival mode. My girlfriend and I were running an assisted living business. We thought it'd be a great business. We quickly realized we were dead wrong. We were the staff, we slept on the floor, we worked 18-hour days, and just to make ends meet, I drove Uber at night after taking care of residents all day. Then we found out we were pregnant with my son. I knew I could raise a son like this. I had to figure something else out, and fast. I started researching everything: stocks, drop shipping, Amazon, but one thing stood out: Airbnb. We had no more money to buy a house. That's when I found Airbnb Arbitrage, a model where you rent properties from landlords, furnish them, and re-rent them to short-term guests. No mortgage, no down payment, no ownership, but full control. I flew from California to Savannah, Georgia, furnished them myself, scraped every dollar I had, and in that first month, I made more than I had the previous 3 months combined. That changed everything for me. So what is Airbnb Arbitrage? Well, let's break it down. Airbnb Arbitrage is where you rent long-term and sublet short-term. You lease a 2-bedroom apartment for $2,000. You furnish it and add $500 a month for supplies, utilities, and automations. On Airbnb, it books for $200 a night, 20 nights a month. That equals $4,000 in revenue. Your profit, $1,500 a month from 1 unit. If you stack 5 units, that's $7,500 a month. 10 units, $15,000 a month. 20 units, $30,000 a month. You never owned a thing, just controlled and optimized. This isn't just clever, it's powerful because you scale faster, you pivot markets easier, you control your risk, and it cash flows better than any traditional rental property. So you might be wondering, is Airbnb saturated? Is it dead? No, don't believe the mainstream media, do not believe the news. Airbnb is most definitely not dead. But the lazy approach is. The copy and paste setup is. If you're gonna throw a couch, a bed, and some Amazon basics into a unit and expect to get rich, you're gonna lose. But if you treat this like a hospitality business, you'll thrive. People still travel, people still book Airbnbs, but they're becoming more picky. They want experiences, unique stays, trustworthy hosts, and clean and well-reviewed places. We are not in the real estate business. We're in the experience business. So here's our secret sauce. Here's how we beat competitors in every market we're in and in the top 5 to 20% of every single market on every single one of our 16 listings. Before we sign any lease, we do deep recon. We look at the top 10 listings in that neighborhood, their photos, descriptions, calendars, reviews, what amenities they offer, who they cater to. Is it bachelorettes, families, traveling nurses, their themes, color, style, and vibe? Then we ask ourselves, what are they missing? How can we be 10% better than them? How can we make ours more Instagrammable? Can we solve pain points in their reviews? If the top unit has neon signs, we add a glam room. If they have a foosball table, we put in an arcade corner. If they've got 2 queen beds, we fit in a king and bunks. We reverse engineer success, then make it better. That is how we dominate in our markets without dropping prices. So how do we pick the cities that print cash? Picking your market is step 1. Here's our method. Go to Airbnb, look up revenue data by city. Filter by the high average daily rate, high occupancy rate, low regulation risk. Look for tourist hotspots, business travel hubs, convention centers, college towns, beach or ski towns. You're gonna wanna avoid cities with Airbnb bans or pending regulations and high HOA buildings. Now that you have the market you wanna go into, now you're gonna type that market into Airbnb and see what the top performing listings in that city are doing. Is the property a specific size? Does it have a specific amenity like a pool or a hot tub? You're gonna wanna take this into consideration when you start looking for properties in that market. So how do you find a landlord that will say yes? You don't need hundreds of calls, you need the right pitch. Here's what works. Position yourself as a professional operator, not just a tenant. Talk about guaranteed rent, weekly cleanings, guest screening, insurance, and light maintenance. You can provide a one-pager like a pitch deck, marketing material, brochures, something to make you look super professional. I like to be an executive marketer to my company, not just the owner. You can call furnished listings on Zillow. They already have everything in place. You just need to add decor. You can partner with property managers, or you can target landlords with multiple vacant units. This makes it really easy to scale. The key really is confidence. You're solving their vacancy problem. You're not asking for permission. You're proposing a win-win scenario. And here's how to fund your first unit, even if you're broke. I started with nothing, literally maxed out cards and borrowed furniture. Here are some funding options. You can do 0% interest business credit cards. You can go through American Express, Chase, who we really like, Bank of America, who we really like, and Capital on Tap, which we really like. You can do personal loans or line of credit, furniture financing. Most of the big furniture stores offer 0% interest financing for furniture, and they approve like everybody. One thing you definitely want to consider is don't go cheap on photos, mattresses, or Wi-Fi. Those things can pay back fast in guest experience and drive 5-star reviews. You can get your first unit launched for $5,000 to $9,000 depending on the unit size and the market. Your job is to get to profit fast. High converting photos, competitive price for the first 30 days, 5-star guest experience from day one. Okay, let's talk about overall design and experience. If you win the click, you win the booking. Your photo is your storefront. We invest in custom murals, vanity stations, neon signs, accent walls, games, bars, and glam areas. Why do we do this? Because guests book what they can picture themselves enjoying. They don't remember your rug, they remember how your place made them feel. Every unit should have a target guest market, be visually memorable, feel intentional, not random. Design isn't decoration, it's a revenue strategy. All right, let's talk about automations. Nobody wants to build a job. They want to build a system that gives you passive income while you sleep or while you're out at the beach with your family on a random Wednesday enjoying your life. Here's our tech stack. We use Hospitable for messaging, auto reviews, and upsells. We use Turnal for cleaning schedules and cleaning checklist uploads. Price Labs for our daily price optimization. And we use Google Drive for our standard operating procedures, onboarding documents, and supply lists. We use WhatsApp for team communication. This system handles bookings, responds to guests, assigns cleanings, tracks reviews, and adjusts pricing. This is why I can manage 16 properties and still be present with my family. Freedom is built on systems. All right, finally, we're gonna scale. We're gonna take this from a side hustle to an empire. Once you're profitable, double down. Use your proof of concept to pitch more landlords. Stack multiple units in the same building, reinvest your profits into better furnishing, automation, and branding. You can build out a team. We're talking about better cleaners, handyman, and virtual assistants. You're gonna optimize your listings quarterly. That means update and rearrange photos, check on and update amenities, and then update your pricing strategy. Always market on other platforms. We don't just wanna rely on Airbnb and Vrbo. If we can drive direct bookings, all that revenue comes to us and not paying Airbnb and Vrbo fees. You can do this on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, and of course, your direct booking site if you want to run ads. Scaling isn't about speed, it's really about precision. One unit done right is better than 10 half-baked units. Listen, this isn't about Airbnbs, it's about freedom. I built this to spend time with my family, to move to Florida, to wake up and go to the beach on a random Tuesday just because I felt like it. This model gave me my life back. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need a trust fund. You don't need a license. You need obsession, you need hustle, and you need a roadmap. This business will test you, but it will reward you like nothing else. One unit, one opportunity, one shot. Don't wait. Don't overthink it. Go. You got this.